I sent 1,000 cold emails and 1,000 cold DMs to see which one is better. And in this video, I'm going to be breaking down the exact scripts I used, the exact results I got, all the appointments I got, so that you can copy me and do the exact same thing to get more appointments for your business. So this is the exact script I use for my cold email system, and I'm going to go into what that looks like in a second, but let's look at the results of what happened when we sent out 1,000 cold emails. So what we sent out, again, is 1,000 cold emails exactly. We were able to get 108 people to view the video that we sent them, and I'm going to break down the exact process that I use for cold email and how I send a video in there. There were 30 people who positively replied to those 1,000 emails, and I got 8 people who actually scheduled in an appointment. I'll probably get 1 or 2 more who actually book an appointment if we wait a little bit longer, but we had 8 total people who booked, meaning our appointment booking rate was 0.8%, okay? So let's take a look into what actually happened in this cold email sequence that allowed this to happen, right? So inside of these 2 weeks where we sent these 1,000 cold emails, this was the script that we used, right? So it went something like this. So Debbie, being honest, out of all the agencies I come across, it looks like you have your ads nailed. So what this is basically doing is it's just a personalized general compliment, right? Explaining, basically boosting their ego, making them feel a little bit enticed to read a little bit more, right? So you see the thing with cold email that's slightly different with cold DMs is it's much less of a conversation on the email side and more of kind of directly pitching them. And what that means is in order for them to gauge their attention, to actually get them to continue to read the email, you have to put some things up front to make it intriguing and to make them feel appreciated, right? So that's why we have this first line standing out. Whereas with cold DMs, we can be a lot more concise and be more have shorter messages so that we can actually entertain more of a conversation. Whereas email, you're more of sending it's more of like an ad than it is with cold DMs, right? So next, we're kind of going into our offer. We're making sure that they're actually interested in what we do, right? Just had a quick question for you. Out of the following 2 statements, you aren't getting as many appointments as you'd like, right? Or you're spending more time / budget to get them than you'd like. Do you feel like any might apply to your company? Then what I did is I recorded the video, right? That basically goes over what my company does, how we help different agencies, explains my offer and my guarantee. And then from there, basically giving a call to action, right? And what this is basically doing, right below this video here, saying crazy, right? Basically saying that what's in the video is crazy, making it more likely that they'll want to click that video to actually see what the offer is about. And then giving a call to action, right? Being saying like, yes, this is a guarantee, meaning that if you don't get results, we don't get paid. And then talking about, I was wondering if you were open to talking more about this, just leave a reply saying sure, and we can go over the details, right? So that's basically how the cold email script works. And what this was able to do, right, exactly, was able to get 0.8% of people to book. It'll probably be around 1% of people once all is said and done, right? So that's pretty good. Now, when we contrast this against cold DMs, there's a couple things that we want to look out for, right? Number 1, what does it cost to get an appointment? How qualified are the people who are jumping on these calls from each different place, from cold email and from Instagram? And what is the difference in the appointment booking rate? And how many cold DMs / cold emails can we send per dollar that we spend, right? So looking on the cold Instagram side of things, right? And this is an automated system on Instagram, meaning that I'm not sending any messages myself. It's all being done through an automation that I have set up. So in 1 week, right, instead of 2 weeks, I was able to send 2,950 cold DMs, right? So 2,950 cold DMs. Whereas in 1 week of email, I was only able to send 500 cold DMs, and this is for the exact same cost. So I paid about $600 a month for the email automation and about $600 a month for the cold Instagram automation. Obviously, this is just a week's data set, right? So in total, right, we sent about 3,000 cold DMs. We got about 99 people who replied. 80 people were actually interested and replied. 29 people asked for the calendar link to book a call, and then 12% of people actually booked a call. So I'll show you exactly what these scripts look like so you can see exactly what we're doing, right? So right now we're split testing a few different messages. I'll show you the actual conversation, what this looks like. So we could say something, and again, this is where I was saying you could be a lot more short with the messages that you send, saying, hey, I was wondering if I could send you some appointment booking strategies that got me X number of qualified calls last month, right? So just asking a simple question. What I see a lot of people do wrong inside of this space is they send questions like, hey, is this a good place to ask questions? Where some of the people will reply, but when they reply, it's not with interest or intent, right? So they get people to reply, but they get the wrong kind of people to reply, if that makes sense, right? So when I'm giving them this like obvious, like if they need help with appointment booking, of course they're going to reply to this, right? Because they want to know how I was able to get 118 qualified calls last month. So he's going to say, sure. Then what happens is say, okay, I'm going to send this video that I recorded. Also, I have a video for this. It's just a simple Loom link that basically explains how our product works and how all that works, right? And basically in this message, I'm saying we're showing our secret results and our secret formula as to how this works, right? In reality, we're just basically explaining our offer. And then he likes this message, so I send him over the calendar link with a voice note saying, hey, you can just book this call, and then confirming the call here, right? So that is how the Instagram system works. Now, if you notice the exact metrics on this, we only had a 0.41% appointment booking rate, right? Which is half of what the cold email was, right? As you can see, it's 0.8%. But here's the difference. I paid the same amount of money for this cold email system as I did for the Instagram system, right? In 1 week, approximately, the cold email system books about 4 appointments, right? And if we break that down, that's 600 into 4 pieces, right? 4 weeks in a month. We paid about $150 for this week of outreach for email, and we booked 4 appointments, which means if we do the math here, 150 divided by 4, we paid about $38 per 1 appointment, right? Which is really good, by the way. Now on Instagram, though, it's different, right? Because we paid the same amount of money, but we weren't able to double the amount of messages we sent, right? We were able to 6 times the amount of messages that we sent, right? So that means even though this is halved, we still booked triple the amount of appointments, right? So we booked 12 appointments instead of just 4, right? And what that means, if we do 150 divided by 12, is with this Instagram system, we were able to get appointments for $12.50, right? And again, all of this is automated. It's being run by my virtual assistant. All of that's into account in terms of the money being sent, right? So that is basically the difference. Now, there's another piece of this puzzle, right? Where the appointments from email are slightly more qualified from the appointments from DMs, right? So my market agency owners, right? There's 2 different kind of camps, right? One of them is more established people making already $10,000 to $20,000 a month, trying to go to $50,000 to $100,000 a month, right? Those are most of the people that I reach out to on email. Whereas Instagram, it's most of the other section of people who are just starting out, people who maybe have like probably less than making $5,000 a month, or people who don't even have any clients yet, right? Those are most of the people that I find on Instagram, right? So when it comes to the actual sales call, my closing rate on email is about 25% higher, right? Which means that if you'd have to add on like 25% of the cost into Instagram to actually get a client. However, when you look at the data, right, $12.5 to get an appointment is a lot cheaper than $37.5 to get an appointment, right? 3 times cheaper exactly. So even with the sales conversion rate into play, the cost to acquire a customer on Instagram DMs is much lower on this campaign than it would have been for cold email, right? Obviously, both extremely profitable. However, Instagram is that much better, right? So that was the test. Hopefully, this was helpful. If you want me to help you build an appointment booking system that's sending literally 600 DMs a day on autopilot, or having a cold email system that's able to get you high quality prospects, you can click the link in the description, and there's a bunch of info on exactly how that works. So you can go ahead and click that. If not, I will see you in the next video.